Beaucy.
BeaucyNkosi. Yes.
Hear it out.
That's Lindy Women Call. Malili. And before that it was Oscar Peterson Trio with a hymn called Hymn for Freedom. I was feeling free. And John Coltrane, Blue Train. And before John Coltrane it was Jimmy Clute with a song called Point of View. Right now I'm gonna give it to Beaucy. Beaucy, and she's gonna hit us with her first song. Take it over, Beaucy.
Thank you. I'm gonna do a song called Hambo Zobuya. It's off my EP that I released in 2012, I think. It was my first project. Yeah, enjoy.
right there.
That's a very common response.
Yes,
From
no,
people.
it's not a very happy song, but it's a promising song.
Ah.
And what inspired this song?
Oh, this I think I was writing. You remember I told you that when I write, I will either use my personal experience or maybe a friend will tell me a story or something that's going on in their lives, and I create a song out of that. So this was one of those moments. It was just a close friend a couple of years back. I don't even think she even knows that I actually wrote a song after she told me that. But she was in that situation, and I was writing, sort of prophesying for her that I wish she would do that. Like she would walk away from that situation, and she would let that person walk away from that situation and learn to find strength in themselves and realize that that person will eventually come back. But when they come back, they will be so grown and so content with themselves that that just won't make sense anymore. And it did eventually happen.
Okay, so
yeah.
it's what we call a prophetic song.
Yes.
and I think it is actually a good way of looking at things. If somebody does go and you just continue the way things are, when they come back understanding the situation.
Yeah.
It's not like you went and pulled somebody
Yeah.
and say come back here.
Yeah.
They come back by themselves.
They do.
And they know how things are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's a great song. Although it appeared a little bit sad. And you can hit us with another song.
Okay. The next song I want to do. Sorry. Okay. So the next song I want to do, I wrote last year. So remember I told you I was working, and I was just in this place anymore where it wasn't making sense for me anymore. And I remember I was working. I was at reception. I remember I wrote the song, and calls were coming through, and I muted them because I wanted to get this out, because it was really how I was feeling as I was sitting there. And yeah, the song is called Feels Like Air.
It will feel like air.
This next song was a very big single for me. So when I came out, this was the song. So when I came back, basically in 2016, when I said I was coming back and started recording, this was a song that released as my first single, and it's been doing really well. I think it's a very catchy song, not very much like deep like my other songs, but it's catchy and people enjoy it, and people still like at shows. I'm trying to sometimes escape and perform and leave it out,
Yeah.
and people like, you're not leaving, you have
You're
to.
not done
Yeah.
yet.
So it's called Ain't Nobody's Business.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely song.
Thank you.
And can you, before you continue, can you take us through your guitar playing? How did it come about that
You know, firstly, I'll just explain the whole process. Remember I told you that I was in this township school that was trying to introduce this music program, and we had one keyboard. And like I said, Uzizo would bring his own drum set. So there's only 2 instruments that were at the school. And there was like 50-something of us. And I don't know how it came about, but the Department of Education or somebody or somewhere provided 3 guitars that were delivered in school, and they were in a box. And I think they came in while I was in another period. And when I went into the music class, I think I was getting something on the cupboard, and I opened. And I saw the box, and I remember the feeling of peeping through and seeing the guitar, and something I can't even explain today happening, like in that moment. And I was like, not that I hadn't seen a guitar before, but it was my first time at that age. I think I was a kid the last time I'd seen it. And then something happened. It was like, I don't know what is going on. I don't know how I'm going to learn this, but this is... And I was struggling at piano at that time. Piano was kicking my butt. And I was, getting frustrated with it. And then I started just, teaching. So Zizo was helping me. He would like bring the notes that we were using for piano, and he would teach me how to transpose them into a guitar, how to play them basically on guitar. And then he left me with that, and he got me some other notes, and then from then I just started playing. And I was always very self-conscious about my playing, because I didn't learn guitar, like I didn't go to school for it, basically. Like I'm picking up knowledge here and there. I would pick up from other guitarists. So I would always be self-conscious if I was around guitarists. Like right now, I know you're a bass guitarist, but it would make me like, I was thinking like, I know I'm not perfect. I'd question that. And I think as soon as I stopped and started playing and enjoying it, this sound just came, and it literally just came by itself with practice.
So, but did it take some time?
To get to this level, it took 9 years. Like before I played differently, I was looking at other people. I would listen to Lauryn Hill and want to see how she's playing and want to play like her, and listen to somebody else and see how they're playing and want to play like them. But to actually get to where it is now, it started when I came back. So from 2016, when I came back, trying to reinvent myself, I just started playing. I didn't now look at anyone else. I just started playing, and that was how this sound was specifically born, or this way of playing was born.
No, it sounds really good. That's why I'm asking.
Thank you.
I'm really asking because there's a story I can share with you. And there is a lady who once came and said she wants to learn how to play guitar.
Okay.
This may sound a little bit funny because, well, she looked very convincing that she wants to play guitar. And maybe because she thought, oh, the guitar is easy. Maybe she sees people like you playing and, everybody's playing this I can do, and she wants to play it as a hobby, And then first lesson, you teach people, this is a string, this string is called by this name, you can see the person is not very much interested as to what is this, what is that. All I want to do is I want to play. And then she wanted to play a song by Solomon Mahlangu.
Okay.
She said, do you think by the end of today I can be able to play Kanimamba?
You know what? I think I've fallen trap for that as well.
And I said, unfortunately, I myself can't play Kanimamba.
Yeah.
So probably I'm not as good as you think I am. Because I saw that it was going somewhere. But the reason why I'm asking is a lot of people, when they get into an instrument, the idea is not in the process. The idea is actually in the goal.
Yeah.
So, and because we've been taught like that, not to enjoy the process and not to be part of the process, but just where we want to be. That's all we're focusing in. And it sounds like a good thing to focus on the goal, but the process is actually what we should, because that's where you spend most of your life in. the process. When you get to a goal, another process starts. So you never spend more time in your
On the goal. Yeah,
because
no.
you don't have time for the goal. When the goal is done, something else
Something
starts.
else
So
has,
it's always a process. I think the most things to be learned are learned during the process, you know. And then so I say, I really admire people who allow themselves to go through the process and actually enjoy the process.